Hi, this is Dave. Recent events should be a wake-up call for Christian business people. I'm sure you've seen the news coverage. A restaurant in Virginia recently canceled a Christian nonprofit group's reservation for a pre-booked private banquet. As a Christian nonprofit group, they had booked a room for a banquet in this restaurant, and 90 minutes or so before the time they were to arrive, the restaurant called them and canceled the reservation, told them they can't eat here, you have to find someplace else. And the reason given was that the employees felt, quote, unsafe serving the Christian group. Now, there are lots of things we can say about this. On one hand, we can't help but think that the employees must be the same people who demand safe spaces on college campuses because they aren't stout enough to socialize with someone who thinks differently. Could be that group, that mindset. We can't associate with anyone who thinks differently from us because we're just not stout enough intellectually. It could be that group. Or we might think, how ironic. These are the same people who are suing a Christian baker for refusing to provide a wedding cake for a same-sex marriage. So it's okay for us not to serve people we disagree with, but we're going to pursue in court people who do that, who do exactly the same thing. Well, and I suppose we could also think something like, hooray for the restaurant owner. No reason to serve people who think differently. Okay, snarky comments aside, there is a significant lesson in this for Christians. This incident is just one expression of a deeper trend. And we've witnessed the culture shift in the last 3 decades from being primarily Christian to secular. And now we're seeing the next phase, which is anti-Christian. I expect we'll see other expressions of the growing anti-Christian mindset over the next few years. There are lots of reasons for this. The release of the files from Twitter, for example, has exposed how widespread the conspiracy to prevent free speech and expression of ideas which run counter to the progressive agenda. There is a conspiracy to prevent free speech. If you hold positions other than the progressive agenda, then big tech, the legacy media, various government agencies will collude together to suppress that information. That's clear from the Twitter files. And we've all heard the expression "power corrupts," and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Typically, that translates into suppressing the speech of those who disagree with you. It is predictably one of the first initiatives of those who come to power. And then we just look at wherever dictators come to power. What's the first thing they do? Clamp down on free speech. We see that played out in Iran, as the rulers suppress free speech and refuse to allow people to question them. We see it in Russia as the Putin administration censors any idea that runs counter to its version of events. And we see it here in the U.S. as the ruling elite suppress any ideas that question their agenda. If the suppression of free speech was limited to political agendas, it would be worrisome and unacceptable, but the suppression of speech goes way beyond political agendas and now includes spiritual issues. The Christian group was denied service not for any political reasons, but because they support the biblical guidance in regards to families and marriage. This antipathy to Christianity from the left goes back generations and can trace its modern-day roots to Karl Marx and the communist dictatorships that sprouted from him. It is an integral part of the left's mindset. But the media portrayal is just one of many factors that have contributed to the anti-Christian culture. Much of it, as we look around for something to blame, we need to look at ourselves. Much of it is our own fault. We have been too comfortable in our lifestyles, where we piously go to church on Sunday and then live by the world's rules Monday through Saturday. We've been taught that the institutional church is the focal point of our Christianity. Then it's been comfortable to believe that. We go to church on Sunday, feel like we're being a great Christian and do whatever we want Monday through Saturday. We hide behind that concept because it gives us a reason to stay quiet and keep our faith buried in the marketplace. We think to ourselves, because I attend church on Sunday, I don't need to stand up for Christ during the week. So our colleagues, customers, and vendors don't see Christians as intelligent, hardworking, empathetic, because we have chosen to remain on the sidelines. We see the unfortunate consequences of incidents like this. How long will it be before the trend accelerates and Christians are persecuted in this country? So we will continue to see an even more blatant incidents. Big tech, the legacy media, and government agencies put forth a derogatory portrait of Christians. The average American will continue to be exposed to a very twisted view of Christianity unless Christian business people step up. You know, we can provide a personal alternative to the media's manipulated messages. It's one thing to see a message on social media, and it is quite another to see that lived out in someone you know. By being more verbal about our Christianity, we can dampen the onslaught of the media and big tech and the government agencies to suppress and marginalize Christians. The time is now for Christians in the marketplace to shed their cloak of anonymity and begin to be visible and verbal in the marketplace. One of the things that will help you as you consider doing this is support, a support group of some kind. We do have such a thing. It's called the XI community. XI stands for Excellence and Influence. We want to help members of the community create excellent careers and businesses and gain influence. That's our goal. So it's $5 a month. I know, $5, and you can click on the link. I'll put it in the show notes and join us. It's a one-stop shop for connections and content for Christian business people. Okay, that's it. We're done. Bye-bye.